We are part of the critical stakeholders on this level. This is not time to keep quiet. Even
the Imole Campaign Council, the campaign team of Governor Ademola Adeleke, has warned the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to avoid reported irregularities recorded during the recently held by-elections and off-cycle polls across the country in the forthcoming governorship election in Osun State.
Elections by INEC, such as that of the FCT 2026 Area Council election, Ekiti State 2026 governorship election, and June 2026 by-elections conducted in Enugu, Nasarawa, Ondo, Rivers, Kano, and Kebbi State. And while those lapses must not be allowed to reoccur in the forthcoming Osun State governorship election, scheduled for Saturday, 15th August 2026. The Imole Campaign Council firmly believes that election drive is legitimacy from public confidence. Once citizens begin to have faith, to lose faith in the integrity of the electoral process, democracy itself has become endangered. It is against this backdrop that we consider it patriotic duty to raise the concern now, where there is still sufficient time for the electoral umpire to address them properly. Our position is informed by official reports of accredited election observers, publicly available evidence, independent review that cuts across all teams that observe those elections, and the different experiences shared by voters during the above-listed elections. Accordingly, the government added to urgently address the following observation ahead of Osun State governorship election. 1. Deployment of insufficient ballot papers and other sensitive materials. I repeat, deployment of insufficient ballot papers and other sensitive materials to polling units. We are deeply concerned by a series of complaints on the lapses observed on the 2026 FCT Area Council election, particularly in the deployment of and safeguarding of ballot papers and other sensitive materials, as reported by several election observers and various groups that participated in election. In several polling booths, particularly in Abadi Area Council, ballot papers were reportedly missing or allegedly snatched, leading to the suspension or stalling of voting and creating avoidable tension between voters, party agents, and security personnel.
Senator Larry Oyewumi, the campaign director general, made this warning on Monday at a press briefing held in Osogbo. The council said the warning is important in order to ensure the credibility of the August 15 election and to strengthen the process. Among the issues raised are PVC distribution, ballot paper integrity, BVAS effectiveness, among others.
And key material were absent or insufficient at the scheduled opening of the poll. Voters were either turned back, compelled to wait for long hours, or reassigned under a hard-on arrangement that raised questions about transparency and fairness. From the foregoing, the Imole Campaign Council hereby insists that INEC must address these weaknesses decisively ahead of Osun 2026 governorship election. The Commission should be required to demonstrate in verifiable terms that 1. Every polling unit has a clearly documented and publicly accessible record of the quantity of ballot papers and other sensitive material deployed. 2. Chain of custody procedure are tightened with clear sanctions for diversions, negligence, or tampering. And 3. Real-time reporting mechanisms are in place to detect and rectify shortages or irregularities to avoid disenfranchisement of voters. Number 2, distribution of PVCs to suspected machinery voters. One of the most disturbing developments in recent off-cycle and by-election conducted by INEC in Osun, Oyo, Jigawa, Nasarawa, Kano, Ekiti State was the widely circulated viral video showing individuals suspected to be machinery voters allegedly receiving permanent voters card PVC shortly before voting. To this moment, INEC has failed to either provide any satisfactory explanation or debunk the authenticity of this incident abstractly. This silence has further heightened public anxiety. Such an open display of what appear to be organized electoral fraud must never be contemplated in Osun State. We therefore implore that the people of Osun State will not tolerate any attempt to impose mercenary voters or manipulate the electoral process through unlawful distribution of PVC. Number 3 is alleged distribution of already Thumbprinted ballot papers. Alleged distribution of already Thumbprinted ballot papers. Equally disturbing was the viral video of protesting voters during the 2026 Ekiti State Governorship election and FCT local council election, who alleged that the ballot paper given to them was already Thumbprinted before it reached their hand. While we refrain from making a definite conclusion on the incident, INEC owes Nigerians a duty of guaranteeing that every ballot paper and every resource deployed for the election remains secure, untampered with, and inaccessible to unauthorized persons. There must be no opportunity whatsoever for the cloning or duplication of sensitive election materials by anybody. Number 4 is wrong parties of ballots or the ballot papers or the short sheet. Various observers groups reported incidents in recent election in Anambra, Ekiti, FCT election, where political parties that did not present candidates for the poll appear on the ballot papers and the short sheet used for the exercise. This is not a minor administrative error. It strikes at the core of electoral integrity by confusing voters, creating room for falsehood and misdirected ballots, and casting doubt on the accuracy and reliability of official result documentation.